Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to January 2019. In for eclipse season, in for the long haul. We're ready. The countdown's kind of started. We had that full moon last night, yeah, it was last night, right? Beautiful. I don't know if you guys saw it. We have a little nephew in town visiting who's 3 years old. His favorite thing is the moon. I think he's a little moon child. I think that's where he comes from. Always looking at the moon, always pointing. That was his first word, I think, was mun for moon. Star reverse comes out. What is going on with Scorpio, really? There's some really interesting dynamics with the eclipses and with the whole like Mars coming into Aries, you know. And I'm wondering if you just have a lot of energy that you just might not be quite so sure exactly which way to direct it, which way to point it. Maybe there really is a lot of moving pieces right now, and there's a lot of things that are dependent on other things or other people. This eclipse season is for healing, you know. It always is. It's always some kind of cathartic experience where we're allowed to purge the things that no longer serve and to like really set new intentions and power. I mean, this is a powerful time. You know, it's kind of one of the bigger cycles, the bigger lunar cycles. You know, we have the 28-day lunar cycle, and then we have this kind of 6-month connection here that happens. Now it's in Cancer, Capricorn. Capricorn is in your third house, so we're going to have a lot of third house activity, which tells me that your mind is going to be very sharp, going to be very intelligent, you're going to be very on point, you're going to be very articulate, and these are all blessings, but make sure that you are not overthinking, over-rationalizing, or justifying certain things in your life. Now, sorry, I am talking quietly because I have someone sleeping in the next room there, so hopefully this microphone helps a little bit. But yeah, so there's certain things that you just can't think your way through. And I know, so Scorpio, I know it's like all about deep feelings and emotions or whatever, but you are also very prominent thinkers of the zodiac too. Like you're here a lot because you don't want to be here most of the time. So here you are. I always say you have like that Aquarian high-mindedness, you know. It's just you are so capable of processing and all of that. So when the star comes out reverse, it's like, well, where do I go from here kind of thing. Your purpose may be shifting. Your purpose may be realigning. Now is not a time to really strive so much, actually. I know that sounds crazy. It's a go with the flow kind of time, because the changes that are going to be occurring in the next several months are going to redirect your path, and you need to be open to what the universe is really going to try to give you, because it might give you something a little bit easier, you know, something you don't have to work so hard at. You kind of like working hard though. I know you kind of like the drama sometimes, and you kind of like the intensity, and I know, I get that. I vibe with that totally. But wouldn't it be nice if it was just a little easier sometimes? And your death card coming out. It is, what did I say? It's like a purging. And this whole month is going to be a build up to this. You're going to have that energy. You're going to have that drive from Aries. I think your work ethic is going to be really on point. I think you're going to have a lot of, again, Mars in Aries, 6th house. You're going to have a lot of just this inner ambition, and you might not even quite know exactly what to do with it. When you are changing so much, and there, I mean, it's really not a matter of whether you're changing or not changing. It's a matter of how much change happens in a certain period of time, really, is like, if we can say it like that, because we're changing every single day. So how much change can you expect to experience in the next month? Quite a bit, because here we have this. So stay open, go with the flow. Pluto is at play. When Pluto comes to play, it's anybody's guess. It's anybody's guess because of how powerful he is. And we're getting the Knight of Swords reversed. Is this you? Is this your mind? Does this coincide with the star reversed? The thoughts, the thinking? And I always say, there's this beautiful quote. I may have said this to you guys before. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. It's by John Green. And it says, "My thoughts are but stars I cannot fathom into constellations." And sometimes we do go through these phases where our mind is just running like a mile a minute, and it can be difficult to put a halt to that. And I'm wondering if this is kind of indicative of that, where the ability to see the big picture, it's hazy right now. Don't overthink it. That's the name of the game. Don't overthink it. You could also be dealing with someone, right? And I'm saying this to every sign because every single reading this month is so different. Normally there's like a theme for the month for all the zodiac signs, and I feel like I'm saying all the same stuff for all 12 signs. But this month it is so individual, and it's so sort of customized to your archetype. So you could be dealing with someone who's not handling this eclipse energy well at all. The build up to an eclipse is usually pretty intense, you know? It's not like it's just only on the days that it happens. It's the whole like few weeks prior where you feel that like, oh, something's going to change. And it's the waxing and waning of yourself and the waxing and waning of your own changes, right? And really, 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 people don't handle that well. Moon activity in the sign of Capricorn, which is its opposite, right? Moon being the rulership of Cancer, happening in Capricorn, like it's tough, you know, and we're working our way up to the new moon in Capricorn now. So we're going to have that, and it can be harsh, and people are going to be learning some really harsh lessons. And when people learn harsh lessons, their ego gets deflated, the sense of self gets deflated, and they realize, you know, that they were operating in some kind of an illusion, and they can get fresh, you know, they can take it out on people. Knight of Swords reversed. That's a tough one. It can be a bully energy. It can be like really snippy and, you know, sarcastic and a little bit nasty. And there can be mistakes that are made and things that this person would regret. Be careful that that's not you. You know, be careful that you're not going to say things that you'll regret. Because eventually it's all going to be illuminated. You know, there's family stuff going on. I know it's holiday season, some of you connecting with family. But I also think that work and progress and this concept of what is your legacy, you know, this purpose coming online and saying, okay, well, I've been working so hard for so long and doing certain things, and I really do want, it's interesting this is coinciding with New Year's, and often, especially in the United States, you know, New Year's resolutions is like such a thing. It's kind of even a little joke sometimes, but you really can set these New Year's resolutions coinciding with these eclipses and like set those intentions for real. And it's very possible that they will come to fruition. We're getting the 10 of coins. Coins represent the manifestation of the things we've set in motion. Okay. So if you're wanting money, you're wanting wealth, you're wanting a legacy, financial or not. I know I just pulled out two financial things, but it doesn't have to be. It can be romantic as well. It can be just in terms of your community involvement, being involved in all this stuff. What do you want your legacy to be? Third house activity is community. What is your place in the community? And when we talk about the star, right, this is the Aquarian archetype. So one thing I love about Aquarius Gemini is the awareness of community, the awareness of friendships, the awareness of togetherness, and the awareness of our little tiny individual part in a much, much bigger, greater collective. It's just kind of wired in. They're really good with other people. You know, they do truly enjoy being a part of something bigger than themselves. 10 of coins. Getting yourself to a place where you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And maybe that's kind of even a mindset where you're like, oh, wow, I really am a part of this family, you know, or getting out of your own head, getting out of your own emotions, whatever. Judgment is about an awakening. And how perfect is it that we get Judgment and the Death card? So a transition may happen quite quickly over the course of the next 4 to 8 weeks, where suddenly you have this sense of clarity and this really inane sense of knowing, and perhaps you'll even tap into your faith And I've been talking a lot about faith the past couple months because I'm only just now realizing how important it actually is. The faith of life, or God, if you want to refer it that way, or source, spirit, we all have our ways of identifying it. I've started actually transitioning from calling it the universe to calling it God, because I don't know, I feel like when you call it the universe, it's like the stuff that God created, but that's not really what God is, right? That's just me. So when you see this plan for yourself and you start tapping into that faith of like, okay, I can take a big risk, and Scorpio's good at taking risks. You do like to experiment. A lot of times you do like to push limits. I can take this risk. The payoff would be amazing. The payoff would be like everything I ever wanted. Am I willing to risk the potential that it won't work out? Yeah, I think you do. I think you will. I think that you're ready to take some kind of big leap in your life and just like throw out your arms and say, you know what, God or universe, just guide me. And I know you will. Thank you. Like, thanks in advance. People put that in their emails. Thanks in advance, because they know that you'll take care of it. Okay, yeah, this is the starting point. Sometimes we have to go through this in order to get this. That's fine. This is not a big deal at all. If you're feeling like you're in a place of scarcity, or you're feeling like you're in a place of maybe you're feeling a bit broke, maybe you're feeling a bit rejected, a bit left out. Maybe you just broke up with someone and you're like, oh, I'm feeling lonely. Like, who cares? Who cares? This is a launch pad for you. This is meant to be embraced, because this is often like, okay, well, I look at my circumstances and I genuinely want them to change. Every single tarot card brings about some element of choice. How many times have you guys heard me say that? This is a choice. Do you want to stay, or do you want to better your circumstances? Plain and simple. Do you want to stay here? If the answer is no, well, you got to do something to change your behavior. Okay. And I know your mind is going to be going a mile a minute. Your mind is going to try to like create this narrative inside of you that's just like jabbering. And sometimes you feel like you have a devil and an angel on your shoulder, and you're like trying to like figure out. When you feel like you have a devil and an angel on your shoulder, each talking to you and each kind of rationalizing and justifying each side of an argument, both of them are wrong. Can we just say that right now? Because a lot of times people confuse, and they get say, well, is it my fear or is it my intuition? Am I afraid to do something, or is my intuition saying I'm not supposed to do something? Chances are it's your fear. Most of the time, like 98% of the time, unless you've really honed in your intuition, it's your fear of not being here anymore sometimes. And I hate to say it, but Scorpio is known for getting caught here because of their craving for the intensity. And this is intense, but it's temporary, because you have this. This is the motivation. Because wouldn't you rather be here? Yes, of course. We all would rather be here. We all would rather be in like a warm, loving, wealthy, prosperous situation. It's full of love and kindness and giving and compassion, rather than feeling like a reject from society. Of course we would. Anyone that tells you anything different, I think, is genuinely lying to you or lying to themselves. Because there's no way, as a human being, there's no way. We're so social creatures. Some people have a tendency to isolate more than others, but it doesn't mean they don't crave that connection. The Hermit. I think this is a recalibration. I think there's this knowing, this intuition that says, okay, clearly my mind is not doing me any favors. And it's like, okay, and it's also manifesting with someone else too. Like, this person, it might be reflecting something back to me, especially if you are bullying yourself in any way, shape, or form, or being hard on yourself in any way. And then someone is harsh on you. You can be like, oh, wow, okay. Like, I kind of invited that. Okay. I kind of invited that a little bit. So let me just like take a step back here. Let's get to a place where we can fathom our stars into constellations, where we can see the big picture. And this is what he's really good at. You know, sometimes, and I was just thinking about this morning. I went and grabbed a little, a big little decaf coffee, decaf latte for myself this morning. And I was thinking about houses 1 through 6 and why Virgo really is actually kind of a pinnacle moment in our life. The Virgo archetype, when we get to that point of Virgo. Because when you really think about it, and I think a lot about Taurus too. So we have this sense of being, we have this sense of like, I exist. And a lot of people jump from I exist to I'm going to be in love. I exist and I'm going to go have a really amazing career. And they kind of skip this like self-reliance and learning how to think, right? Gemini, learning how to feel, Cancer, learning how to create, Leo, and then really figuring out how to tie up self-reliance, intelligent thought, emotions, and creation all into like a more manageable package. That's what Virgo really is doing. He's tying up all the loose ends of all the houses that came before, preparing for Libra, which is about me plus another person. Like once I kind of got my own shit together, okay, then I can incorporate someone else into my life. And when you find yourself kind of jumping around to these, and I know that's like so generic, like no one goes through those kind of steps exactly, but hopefully you guys understand really what I'm saying. I'm sure you will. I'm sure. When you find yourself jumping around with no intelligible order and no intelligible process, the Hermit says, okay, we need to pull it back because that's what happens. This is what happens when you don't do things the right way, when you surpass self-reliance and try to go have a relationship. Like, how can you have a relationship and not be self-reliant? That doesn't make any sense. You have to be able to take care of yourself so that you can take care of the other person too. You have to get yourself to a place of like, my cup runneth over so much that my love and my joy and my fulfillment can run over onto that other person, you know? And so I think that the Hermit, you may do Hermit, right? Because you're like, okay, let me think about this 5 of coins here for a second. Let me think about it. Let me feel my way through it. Let me understand what this means for me. Because the universe is talking to you. There's no doubt that you're going to be receiving messages. Don't even be afraid that you're not going to be figured out, because of course you will. We always do. Whenever we have a big question, when has the universe ever not answered you? You know, you have to kind of think back on your past and be like, oh, it's always kind of worked out okay. I might not be super happy with where things are right now, but it's always worked out okay. And that's all you need to know. It is going to work out okay. There's the thought. You guys, it's third house activity. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. It just is what it is. And it's Gemini. You're Geminiing yourself. Okay? And we know that the annoying thing about Gemini is the twins. It's the duality. It's the devil and the angel on your shoulder. It's the dark twin kind of coming up behind you, right? I did a video on this on my other channel where I talked about getting rid of negative thoughts. And the little exercise that I've done is actually like having a mini exorcism in my mind where I actually would envision like a priest, you know, with his like cross and the whole thing like I see on TV, and like coming in and say like, I see you, I recognize you, negative thought, but you are evil and you are no longer welcome here, because negative thoughts are the inner evil. It's like the microcosm within the macrocosm. You know, we can look out into the world and we can see people that are robbing people, harming people, bombing people, raping people. Like we can see all these really negative things. Yet we fail to see that our negative thoughts are the same thing on a micro scale. It is robbing us. It is stealing from us in great ways. And the minute that we recognize that negative thought coming into our mind, like the sooner we can get rid of it and the sooner we can just move on. I just realized how bloodshot my eyes are. You guys, I'm so tired. Family's in town. Just let's leave it at that. Family's in town. I said this to Libra too. I said, you know, there is nothing more humbling. You know, like here I am talking about how, oh, my whole spiritual experience, and I've grown so much, and I've done so much, and I've learned a lot about my ego. And then family comes in town and it tests you, like you think you know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing, Jane. Like just the way that I, interact with my family, who I love, but like we've got drama in our family for sure. So it's been an interesting couple days. Okay, we get the Ace of Wands. Get the Three of Coins, Seven of Wands, and the Page of Cups. Okay. This is, I think, the same as the Judgment, where it comes in and it is a path that unfolds in front of you. It just kind of appears, but you did create it. It is important for you to take responsibility. Like, yes, I did create this Ace of Wands for myself because I was asking and I did want out of here. And so I was asking, and so here it is. Here's your out. And clearly there's going to be something that happens. Okay. Now, Three of Coins I often see as professional collaboration. It is Capricorn after all, Capricorn season. We do have Mars in your your sixth house, right? So there is work on the line for you. There is money on the line. There is career advancement on the line. So don't worry so much if your personal life is kind of in shambles, because I think the stars really want you to think about your contribution, right? Second house, sixth house, 10th house kind of topics. What is your contribution? And we usually contribute through our work. So make things happen, collaborate, be creative. Yes, okay. Things could get annoying. I get that. I totally get that. You may be feeling like you've got some hurdles. You may be feeling like things are kind of working against you. It's not like, who cares? It's like you have a cause. You have now something that you are fighting for. You have something now that you are trying to achieve and that you can go out and get and you can go pursue. And in spite of everyone else's opinions, in spite of everyone else's ideas, in spite of whatever they want you to do, you seem to be like, you know what, get out of my way. I don't really care. I don't care what you think. Because for the first time, maybe in a really, really long time, you really don't care what people think. Caring what people think has got you what? Let's put the camera down, okay? We'll pull the comprehensive cards. Hold on, let me make the adjustments. Sorry, I did that wrong. And what we'll do, let me turn this over so you can see the directionality. Okay, so there you go. So this is how they're all laid out. Okay. Let's start with the star reversed in the center and clarify that so you guys can see what cards come out, what we'll talk about in the comprehensive. Okay. Beautiful Emperor coming out front and center. That's for you. High Priestess always is something coming up out of the woodwork. I don't know that you can expect a lot from other people right now. Even the Page of Cups is kind of suggesting that you're kind of on your own, and I wouldn't really have any desire to rely on too many people this month. Let's look at the Knight of Swords, especially if it's a Knight of Swords, right? Just, it's about self-reliance. It's about taking care of yourself, right? Capricorn activity. Got to take care of yourself. Three of Cups. Clearly, you're dealing with someone where there is a not equal balance or a not equal flow of energy. Someone's slippery. These are not, like if you're dealing with another person, neither one of these is really the best compatibility for a Scorpio. They really don't vibe with the Scorpio's need or desire to like really have. And they're a little slippery. They are, I promise. They're really slippery and they are difficult to have. They are. So, okay, manifestation coming out online for you here. Seven of Cups makes things a little tricky, but it goes well with the stars I cannot fathom into constellations thing that I talked about with the star. So that's fine. We kind of know that already. Let's talk about the 5 of coins here. The one thing I don't like about a Knight of Swords, if that is in fact another person, is they can be very unfaithful. You know, they can be, even the Knight of Wands can be unfaithful as well. I don't like the fact that you're dealing with knights when you're sitting here in emperor status. I don't like that. The station is all off. You know, like men don't hang out with boys. Yeah, you're even coming out as a king here as well. So, I mean, move my microphone here. Okay, let's look at the 7 of Swords. Beautiful. Look at these aces. 3 aces coming out. Actually, did we get all 4? I think we got all 4. Oh no. Did I see an Ace of Swords? I feel like I saw that. Yeah, look, all 4 aces coming out. Coins. Beautiful. Which means this is a turning point month for you. It does. It means that all these things, all these projects, all this effort you've been setting in motion is going to start really displaying itself to you. Simplification of life is going to be your best friend. Okay. Star, Moon, 7 of Cups. There's an intangibility to things that might really annoy you. And I think this person is like a perfect reflection of that. It's like once you start being able to hang on to that person, you're going to struggle with like other things that you can't hang on to. So we'll talk about that in the comprehensive as well. Let's pull some more for the page. Two pages. Okay. Not a big deal. That's not even really that much of a thing, but we will talk about it. Okay. I'm not going to put the camera back up. So if you want to check it out, the links and everything will be down below. Thank you guys so much for everything. You mean the world to me. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. All the good stuff. Thank you. And I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.